Hello, welcome to another Becoming a Modern Man. We are playing Grixis Twin once again, and this time we're playing against a mono blue Tron deck. So let's get underway. This our opener looks pretty nice, though double Tasker is never great. Also we don't have any fetches, so casting these Taskers might take some time. So yeah, maybe not the most exciting of hands actually on second thoughts, but I think still keepable. Opponent leads with a mine and an expedition map. Draw polluted delta, which we're just going to run out. An island, so we know it's on blue Tron rather than green red now. Which is always useful to know. I'm going to search for the steam vents here. Just run out the sulfur falls. That's the turn. But uses that to find a Urza's tower, which is fine. Not quite got Tron just yet, which is good for us. Just going to play this Blood Crypt. Might want to Deceiver Exarch on upkeep, but I think I'd rather not just get it countered, so we'll see what he does. He tries to thirst for knowledge on the end of his turn. I'm kind of keen to remand that, so I mean, he might be able to play something big next turn, but I think he looks like he's digging by playing the first. I think I want to just delay him on that. And we draw a Snapcaster off of that, which is good. And just plays an island, so that play worked out fine. We draw another Snapcaster, so we've got Snapcaster remand for pretty much forever at this point. One tries to thirst again. I'm going to Snapcaster remand that. Right, he doesn't have a counter, which draws us into a breeding pool. It's an expedition map, which is going to use to search up the power plant to finish off his Tron. It's definitely good for him. So he's trying to build up as much mana as possible. It puts him in a fairly good situation. So he's got 3 mana open. I'm going to be able to attack in with the Snapcaster, and I don't really want to do a whole lot else. Obviously it would be nice if we were able to cast this Tassiger, but we just don't have anything that's putting stuff into the graveyard, so slightly awkward. Went first at the end of turn. I let it happen this time. I could have remanded it. Like I say, we've got a lot of remands, but I do want to tap too low, I don't think. And I think I was planning to Deceiver Exarch on his upkeep, tapping down his tower, to give him fewer options, and I could keep up remand as well to protect that. Play. Untaps mana, but I assume accidentally or misclicked somehow, because he lets the Deceiver Exarch resolve, and this doesn't really work out for him, so it seemed like a bit of a misclick. But yeah, I'm just going to tap the tower and try and deny him some mana. And that seems to work out fairly well for us. Up there's another island, and just passes the turn. Draw a Flood Strand, which is just going to run out. I'm going to attack for 3 here, and just pass the turn, keeping up obviously our remands as well as our Snapcasters. Hunter goes for a Worm Coil, but I'm going to remand that, and it turns out our opponent doesn't have any sort of fetch, just to thin out our deck a little bit more. I'm going to attack for 3. Also get more cards in the graveyard for Tassiger. I could have potentially cast the Tassiger here. Maybe I should have done. Instead I Serum Visions, finding Pestamite and Serum Visions. I end up keeping both on top, I think. I quite like the idea of keeping the Pestamite, because if he's going to actually get this Worm Coil down eventually, we might just want to tap down his guys. Tap down the Worm Coil to prevent him being able to attack with it, and then hopefully get an Alpha Strike in. So that seems like a decent play. I feel like maybe we should have just gone quite aggressive and just tried to run out a Tassiger here. But I left it another turn, I think. Being conservative really, I think, just to sort of keep up remand and Snapcaster remand potentially, if we needed it against this oncoming Worm Coil. So yeah, he tries to cast one coil again, we use our other remand, and the opponent isn't looking to fight over it, despite having 8 cards in hand. I'm quite surprised he doesn't have a Condescend or a Spellburst or something like that, but perhaps he's just not looking to fight over it. So I end up cracking the fetch and going for the Thought Scour. So I don't get the Sim Visions that I put on top, but I think this is worthwhile just because we're going to be able to cast the Tasigur for just 1 mana. For a Lightning Bolt, which is nice, because really we're just kind of trying to outrace our opponent at this point. So Tasigur down. He's going to Worm Coil, and I'm going to go for the Snapcaster Remand. He mana leaks the Snapcaster. I can pay for the mana leak, still have mana for Remand up, so that works out in our favour. Our opponent still has 3 mana open, so he's able to condescend the Remand. But it does leave him tapped out, and me with a Pestamite, which I set up a little bit earlier. So I'm going to tap down the Worm Coil, and then I actually have perfect amount of damage. We've got 9 points here with all our creatures that are able to attack, so that would do it. We also have a Bolt to get the extra points of damage, so even if that wasn't the case, I think we would have managed to have enough damage with him tapped out as well. So yeah, that worked out pretty well. We were able to like tempo him out really, just those remands on remands on remands delayed his big plays long enough for us to get something going, and obviously having cheap guys like Tasigur and Snapcaster and things to attack him and beat him down worked out pretty nicely. So let's go on to game 2. So here is our opener. We've got Twin, Snapcaster, Double Bolt, and an Alkan Shackles, so fairly aggressive hand, quite nice. Shackles is maybe a little ambitious against his deck, but the potential of stealing his big guys was quite tempting, and I don't imagine there would be a lot he could do about that if we stuck with Shackles, so I thought it was worth a try. Front leads off with Expedition Map. We lead off with Delta. For his power plant, so it looks like he's going to be able to get on Tron online on turn 3, which isn't ideal for us, but just going to have to try and deal with it. Ancient Grudge is another card that comes out of the sideboard, which is nice here. Unfortunately, the only green source we have is Breeding Pool, and we can't really afford to search that up with the Polluted Delta, as we really need access to red mana with the hand we've got. So Pun just casts Platinum Angel off his Tron, which I'm more than happy to get rid of right now before he's got any wasting it through blue mana. I'm just going to play the Steam Vents untapped. I'm going to go for the Pestamite, tapping down the tower to reduce the amount of mana he has access to. Can play the Talisman of Dominance. And yeah, we would have been able to twin there, but yeah, the Talisman put me off that idea. I imagine he has a counter, whether it be a Remand or a Condescend or whatever. I don't want to just lose my twin for that, so instead I'm just going to attack with my Pestamite, using it as an aggressive creature. I'm going to play my island and then pass the turn, see what our opponent does. We'd quite like to see him tap out if possible. So he uses a Treasure Mage to get a Worm Coil Engine, I think I'm right. So he could have just cast the Worm Coil, but I think he is also conscious of the fact that I could potentially combo him out. So in this situation I really just want to get rid of his blue mana. Unless he's got a Dismember or something, I don't think he'll have an answer to me just casting Splinter Twin. So I I think I just want to make sure that he doesn't have the blue mana up, so I don't have to worry about him countering it. So what I wanted to do was cast the Snapcaster, give Ancient Grudge flashback. I already has flashback, but I don't actually have access to green mana, so do that and then blow up his talisman. So then that leads the way for the Splinter Twin combo. So cast Snapcaster Mage. Opponent has the Condescend for 3, which we're just going to have to allow. Opponent puts a couple of cards on the top of his library, so it's a little bit worrying. Hopefully we'll just be able to win here. We draw another twin. It's nice, and yeah, that finishes up the game, so really good for us there. I feel like we played well in terms of forcing him to tap out, and then thanks to him not having a Dismember or some other colourless way of dealing with it, which obviously there aren't all that many, we actually were able to combo out there, so that works out pretty nicely. Was able to manipulate the situation so that we were able to combo off there.